If you'd seen her that day, you might have laughed too. A girl in a rain-stained hoodie, holding a cardboard sign with neat block letters, "Can I fix it for food?" People walking by snickered, thinking it was a joke. But then she stepped toward a smoking SUV, leaned close, and inhaled the burnt oil smell with a half-smile, like she'd found an old friend. Her name was Harper. She didn't look like hope, she looked like struggle. The zipper of her hoodie jammed halfway, her backpack sagged like it had forgotten its purpose. She was barely 19, but her eyes moved with the calculation of someone twice her age. She listened before she spoke, studied every sound like it carried a secret. Most people didn't see her. Those who did usually laughed. Laughter was cheap. It washed over her like weather, she couldn't control it, she could only lean against it. Across the street sat Sonny's Diner, its neon sign usually missing half the letters. Inside, a waitress named Tasha quietly looked out for Harper. When she could, she wrapped half sandwiches in foil and slipped them into Harper's pack, pretending not to notice when Harper folded napkins with precise, almost military neatness. Next door was Bennett Tire and Auto, a small garage with grease-stained windows. Mr. Bennett, tall and tired from years of wrenching, ran it with a gruffness that hid a generous streak. He noticed Harper, though he pretended not to at first. He noticed her sign too, straight letters, no exclamation marks, the careful writing of someone who respected measurements. One afternoon, a beat-up sedan rattled to the curb. Its driver, a man in a baseball cap, leaned out and smirked. You fix cars," he scoffed. Harper didn't flinch. She pointed at his front end. "Your heat shield's loose. 2 bolts stripped. Idles rough from a vacuum leak. I can fix it. I'm hungry." The man laughed too loudly, fear hidden inside. "I don't hand my keys to the sidewalk." He drove off, his car coughing like it wanted to protest. Harper didn't chase him. She just adjusted her sign so the rain wouldn't smear the words. That's when Mr. Bennett stepped out. "You can't stand here," he said. "Insurance rules." Harper took 2 steps back. "Understood." He studied her for a long moment. In his bay sat a blue Mustang that had been towed in the night before. It coughed with a misfire he couldn't pin down. Bennett hated mysteries almost as much as he hated pity. "You any good?" he asked. "I don't guess," Harper replied simply. At that moment, Tasha crossed the street holding a paper cup of lemonade. She handed it to Harper and said softly, "You've got this." Something in Bennett shifted. He grunted toward the bay. "Come on." Harper set her sign carefully against the wall, slid into gloves too big for her hands, and stepped inside like it was sacred ground. She listened to the Mustang's uneven idle, tilted her head, and then cut the engine with a wave. Tracing the vacuum lines with her eyes, she found it, a hairline crack in a hose to the intake. "When it warms up, this opens," she explained. "Leans the mix. 3rd cylinder throws a tantrum." Bennett replaced the hose, turned the key, and the Mustang purred like it had been waiting for her. He turned slowly. "What's your name?" "Harper." "You hungry, Harper?" She nodded. Pride was a luxury she couldn't afford. He bought her a burger and fries from Sonny's and slid the bag across the counter. Harper ate steady, measured bites, eyes wide at the ketchup bottle as though it were a sunset. Tasha sat across from her and said, "You've got a gift." That night, Harper bedded down under the shop's awning. The Mustang's steady idle played in her head like a lullaby. For the first time in months, she fell asleep thinking about something bigger than survival, maybe even a future. Over the next days, Harper kept showing up. She diagnosed a wheezing pickup with a failing alternator, soothed a soccer mom's van back to life, and traced electrical gremlins in a minivan. Bennett never called her an employee, but he always had work waiting. He paid her cash folded into her palm, or meals from Sonny's, or sometimes just a nod that carried more weight than money. Tasha cheered her on, refilling her coffee and saving her a booth by the window. A teenager named Riley started hanging around after school, fascinated. "You make it look like art," he said. "It's not art," Harper told him gently, tightening a bolt. "It's respect. Machines give back what you give them." Not everyone was pleased. A man named Deacon started circling the shop. He sold cut-rate parts from his trunk, quick cash, no questions. He watched Harper with sharp eyes. "You're good," he told her one afternoon. "Too good to waste here. Roll with me, I'll line your pockets. Cash every night. No more sleeping on sidewalks." Harper thought of motel sheets and hot showers, but she also thought of broken families stranded on highways because of junk parts. Her aunt's voice whispered in memory, "You don't build trust twice." She met his stare. "No thanks." Deacon's smile was thin. "Suit yourself. But Noble doesn't keep you warm." Trouble came on a Friday. A delivery truck stalled in the middle of Main Street, blocking traffic. Horns blared, drivers shouted. The panicked driver fumbled with his phone, muttering about losing his job. Harper dropped her sandwich and ran. Within minutes, she had the hood open. The alternator belt had snapped, leaving the battery drained. "We'll need a tow," the driver said, defeated. "Not today," Harper replied. She sprinted to Bennett's shop, grabbed a spare belt, and jogged back. With half the town watching, with phones raised to record, she worked fast. Grease streaked her cheek, sweat dripped into her eyes, but her hands never wavered. When she cranked the engine, the truck roared like a beast reborn. The crowd cheered. Horns honked in applause this time. The driver hugged her, tears in his eyes. Harper smiled despite herself. For once, laughter wasn't cruel, it was celebratory. What none of them realized was that I was there, too, filming from the diner's window. That video traveled faster than gossip, crossing town lines and state borders. Overnight, Harper's story became the kind strangers argued about online, the homeless black girl who could outdiagnose seasoned mechanics. Messages poured in. Offers too, jobs, scholarships, even strangers promising her a set of tools. But Harper didn't care about headlines. She cared about the engines she brought back to life, about Riley learning to listen, about Tasha saving her a booth, about Mr. Bennett handing her gloves that finally fit. She cared about dignity, the kind you can't fake, the kind you earn bolt by bolt. And maybe that's the point. The girl they laughed at for holding a cardboard sign turned out to be a motorhead who could hear what machines were trying to say. What she really fixed, though, wasn't just cars. She fixed the way people saw her, and, maybe, the way they saw each other. Because sometimes the smallest acts, turning a wrench, tightening a bolt, listening to an engine's story, become the spark that rewires a whole community.